tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I got the eye of the tiger, dancing through the
No one liked the song.
What do you mean?
The song sucks donkey balls.
I like this song.
I like the song. We watched together, and I said, "Oh, finally a good song for them to lip sync."
I didn't think it was that good of a song, but I thought towards the end of the song, the number, it was interesting to watch. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of RuPaul's Drag Race After Show. I'm your host, Kenny Harrison. Sitting next to me is the lovely
1, 2, 3, Jackie B.
Wow.
That's my new radio
Her sultry voice.
Okay. Next to Jackie is
Lorraine Love.
Ooh.
Next to Lorraine Love.
Carol Marston.
And our pit crew over here, Steven.
Steven.
Hello.
That's you. You're a pit crew.
Yeah, I'm Steven. What's up, guys?
Oh. And we have a special guest today.
It's
This
Hello
cat.
Kitty.
Hi, my name is Hello Kitty. Actually, I don't know a voice for Kitty.
She doesn't have a voice. She doesn't talk.
Kitty.
She just.
That's the only. Oh, well, her hands aren't that long. I can't make her do that. So, say hi.
You can do it for her.
Say hi, Kitty. Hi, Kitty.
There you go.
Shout out
Well,
to
there's
my.
one bow that Kennedy didn't get.
I know.
I know.
Shout out to my boss Denise for loaning me Hello Kitty for this evening. She's just gonna sit there.
Thank you, Denise.
How about that? She's sitting by herself.
I like it.
Right in front of me. Can you see me? Okay, I gotta take this off. I don't want it to fall.
Kenny doesn't like my hat.
Well, I can't put it there because you won't be able to see me. And you're gonna have to slash down, Kitty. Okay, we can start the show now. What do you guys think? It's episode 11. Hello, Kitty Girl.
Hello, Kitty Girl. Yep.
What do you guys think?
Episode 12.
It's episode 11.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, 11. Sorry. Episode 12's coming.
I mean, I
Sorry.
didn't mean to correct you like
Katya
that.
should not have gone home. She should not have. And I don't know that I can, watch this top 4. I'm just not interested.
Jackie's not interested. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with it.
Like with the episode, my question was the episode in general.
The episode was fun. The elimination was poop nuggets.
Or donkey balls?
Or donkey balls, or shit bukkake, or whatever you want to say.
Well, I don't think.
That's a new one.
I don't think.
By the way, this will be explicit. If you hadn't noticed already.
If our rating didn't pop up yet, I don't
Steve
think.
makes our rating.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then make sure you give us that rating.
Yeah,
What do you think, Mark Love? Go, speak.
I thought. I don't think that they liked Katya. I think you can tell.
As in the judges?
They that are in charge.
Yes.
What do you mean? I think everyone liked Katya.
No, the
show.
You mean the producers?
Yeah.
The show.
Oh,
I think if it was Kennedy and Pearl, or Kennedy and Violet, and Kennedy did that performance, I think they probably would have kept Violet or Pearl, just because they are so up their ass.
Yeah.
Well, let's discuss.
They're earning the rating.
Let's discuss. Dobby's back.
Dobby is back.
I thought
We
of you
asked
guys.
for it.
and I
We
can
got
never
him
remember
back.
what you guys
And
call him.
apparently, unlike Cameron, everybody thinks Dobby is hot.
Well,
I
he
don't find him
hold on.
attractive.
He finally shaved off all that remnant of hair that he had on his head. That's why. Because before he would always wear hats, he always had leftover hair. Now he's finally bald. He looks good.
Well, two things.
Like, let it go.
I thought.
We can't do
No,
it.
no,
I got a little
no.
excited.
Don't
Sorry.
start it. I'm glad he's not even paying attention. Good.
Yeah.
So, I thought two things. It was kind of good to have him back because it is what it is. We all love Dobby, but I thought him and Rue looked alike.
I thought so
They
too.
look twins.
They did look like twins.
I didn't
thought
realize
the
how
same
tall Santino was.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Santino is tall.
He's always sitting.
And
He's like 6'5".
Just because I know everybody watching knows. Why do you guys call him Dobby again? I know I'm out of the loop.
Because he wouldn't shave his head and he started to look
No,
like
but what
Dobby,
character?
the house elf.
we
who's the
called
character?
him Gollum before,
That's
right.
and
We
the
got-
fans
they-
said that was bullying, and we conceded and said yes, that is. So we'll call him Dobby, who is a more likable character, but still not quite as attractive.
From
From Harry Potter.
Harry Potter? That's why I don't know.
What's
Yeah.
that?
But,
His name is Santino Rice.
but
And he seems like a very nice guy.
I think this was a good challenge to bring him in on too, since it was a sewing challenge.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think.
Although he said less than I expected him to, it was weird. I was like,
Or he
wow.
got edited out.
I think I'm pretty sure he got edited.
I do think it was a good idea. And I thought they should have had maybe even more I would have minded more interaction with him. Like have him spend some time in there with them, helping them.
Yes.
Well, he did.
Like kind of
he
like
did-
Tim Gunn does.
He did the
Yes.
well.
You
He
know?
did the walkthrough.
And he tried to say make it work.
Right, which I was going to comment on
But
that.
see,
too.
and as much as I loved having him back as a guest, there is still that kind of disconnect of his idea of fashion versus what the contestants actually
agree.
come up with.
Well, and also what he has seen or not seen of them prior to, because he made a comment to Ginger about he thinks that she should cinch in her way. I think she's actually kept her shape fairly well.
I thought
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah.
I
So
actually
for
didn't even
him,
really
yeah.
notice that she wasn't until he said it, and I was like, oh, I guess she's not. But
Well,
I think it's
I
a
don't
lot,
know.
though. I mean, it seems a lot to ask a big girl. Oh, well, like
because
instead
what she
of
said
shaping
was
you,
true. Her
yeah,
drag mother's right. You shouldn't, because then
Yeah.
it all hangs out at the top.
And then and the way he kind of said it, I mean, he was very delicate the way he said it. I know he wasn't trying to be mean about it. But I agree with all of you. I think I didn't notice that she wasn't cinching the entire.
I didn't really either.
You know,
Because she doesn't need to. She can pat it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can shape with padding.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I thought
Gonna cut up
this
my circulation. Just
she
pat
looked
it.
great. What do you think, little kitty? So let's break it down. So the mini challenge was the puppets, which I thought
Resurfaced.
it was kind of
Glory, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Must we have the gay references though?
I know.
I mean, we take everything else away from her.
That's true.
it is a gay show.
That's true too. Is it? I didn't know.
Ish.
Well,
Now,
I
here's the
got
thing.
clocked when I
friendly.
said, "Why is Moby on a gay show?" But it is.
You know what? Would be
Oh, do
interesting. Now that you mentioned that, wouldn't it be interesting if they in the future they had a contestant that was a drag queen but was straight?
I would love that.
Transvestite?
I don't,
Well, no.
I don't know how straight they.
Well, I guess not like that straight. Like I mean, like a guy that enjoys sex with a woman but happens to do drag.
I would love that.
What, transvestite? Transvestites aren't all gay.
You're right. It's
Really?
They just dress
transvestite,
in
like
opposite gender.
Eddie
Like
Izzard.
what's his name?
Yeah.
Eddie Izzard,
Oh,
the comedian. He's straight, but he dresses like a woman.
like Bruce Jenner.
Well,
No, he's transitioning.
No, Bruce Jenner's
He's-
transitioning. Bruce
yeah,
Jenner
he
wants
feels-
to be a woman.
And obviously, I need a lesson on the
We're gonna
T
move from this topic
and
real
L.
quick.
Why? It's all relevant.
I do have to say though, I think the question is valid because the audience is changing. Andrew Humphrey, who's a fan of ours, sent me a link to Rue and Michelle's podcast where they talked about how the audience is bigger this year and it's changed. It's not just gay people or it's not just women, which has been the majority of their audience. It's now like families and straight men.
I could imagine
with their
families
girlfriends.
sitting
I
and
can't
watching
imagine
the
that
show,
either.
though. Like mom, dad, and kids. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but that's really interesting.
I mean, I don't think there's, especially this season, in it where aside from like jokes that are
Glory
layered,
holes.
like a glory hole joke
Innuendo.
where
Don't fuck it up.
well, that's
I'm just saying, you know,
technically-
yeah.
But
And-
the glory hole jokes, like those are jokes that you would have to like know to get. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
think
like
a lot of
someone
people
who's
know
like
what
a
glory hole
teenager.
is.
I think
mean,
there are some families that
And-
watch it. I think it's some families that are trying to be accepting of some of their children. So I think that there are some families that are watching it.
Yeah, and I think I mean that that fan base, like I guess, calls for different
The envelope is
elements.
larger.
Yeah, the different elements to be brought into the show.
Well, that's good. The more you know.
And that's why certain people start to feel that they can also tag on to words. And I mean, that's where it stems from.
Yeah, and
It's bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I get it. And I know we talked about this before about how kids are coming out at an early age. So,
Yeah.
and I guess this helps. I guess if you see it on TV, because I mean, when I was growing up, you guys are a lot older than me. I didn't see stuff like this. Why are you giving me that eye? It was just. It was
when you see
I expected it towards me. I didn't expect it
it's
at
that
that.
look I gotta give because
I'm
when you're
funny
watching
face.
somebody have a psychotic break, you kind of just go, ooh.
I didn't have a
Well, he
psychotic
said it to
break.
you guys.
I said you guys.
I
Anyway.
expected it at me.
Growing up, I had Cosby Show. I didn't have RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
So it is, I guess, and plus, there's a place for everything now. I mean, I even watched Prancing Queens. No, what's the name of the show? The Dancing Elite. It's on Oxygen, and I mean, I believe that that's a show that could be on Logo. I don't understand why it isn't, but they're getting an audience from that show from a different network. So
What is Dancing Elite?
it's the five black Prancing Elite. Dancing Elite. They're Prancing Elite. The show's called The Prancing Elite Project. I'll get it right eventually. There was a YouTube video that went viral about 5 guys that dressed in leotards, and they were at this football game, and they did this like incredible dance, and like apparently Shaq tweeted about it, and so it went viral. So they got a show about like the struggle of these 5 young black dancers in Alabama, and that's the kicker, is that they live in Alabama, and they're trying to do. I mean, when I say Alabama, I mean it's like butt fuck nowhere Alabama, and they're trying to like all they want to do is dance. And so they go through these parades. Long story short, it's about acceptance, and I think it's very interesting to see that like the show RuPaul's Drag Race and all these other shows that are like going beyond just our community.
I think there's also it's not just.
I think that's where I was going with that.
It's not just anymore. We've had like cross-dressing and all kinds of different types of representation in the history of performance art, but a lot of people look down on that.
Right.
So where you would have somebody on stage cross-dressing, well, the man who played the woman would be the lesser character, or would be the the person who got all the nicknames. But now it's a matter of respecting, not just accepting, but respecting the people who provide that entertainment, because you are entertained by it.
Yeah, and I remember we had a conversation about the movie Chicago and how Christine Baranski's character was in
originally a man.
Drag, yeah. I found that very interesting. And I don't know about the production of that movie, which came out like 10, 12 years ago, but it's, Anyway, we're like way off topic. Let's bring it back. So what do we think about what about the puppets?
We were talking about the puppets, yeah.
I didn't think they were that funny.
I
thought Ginger was funny.
I thought Ginger was funny, and I thought Katya really looked like Katya.
Katya? No, I thought
puppet,
I think Pearl's interpretation of Kennedy's
Yes.
chicken /
the
horse look.
Yeah.
I thought she nailed it.
I kind of felt like that should have won, because she not only like bejeweled Kennedy's face,
She gave
which
the
was
backstory.
amazing, but she gave that whole backstory.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty creative.
Yeah.
I did love Katya's impression of Ginger though,
Yeah.
with the accent and everything.
I think for what we saw, and I didn't get a chance to see the extras that they put up on Logo TV, but I think for the most part it was okay. I didn't think it was like, quite funny, except for Ginger's. And I think she won.
I mean, I thought it was funny, but I don't know. Maybe somebody can correct me on this. But when they did the Little Miss Poundcake one, which was the one with Alaska season, I felt like they got more screen time or something.
Yeah.
Didn't I feel like they had more to say?
They weren't that good.
Well, I mean, this episode had a lot in it. I mean, they had Hello Kitty all the way through the episode. They had Santino do the walkthrough with each one of them, and they spent a lot of time with the girls in the workroom this episode.
Yeah,
I felt like I feel like they spent like 2 to almost 2.5 segments. I break it down into segments, like 5 segments, and I think they spent at least 2 to 2.5 just in the workroom talking about really nothing.
Well, there was the Katya's moment of, oh my gosh, I'm like,
yeah, but I think it ran a long time. Like, I mean, I got it, and with Ginger, we know she can't sell. By the way, I have to, this is season 7. Like, for those of you people.
Okay, Tony Moore.
Oh. For those of you people who are going to audition for this show, learn to sew. Learn to act, learn to sing, at least try to do these things. Like, it's going to come up. Even, like, learn to design a dress.
One of
You know
our
what I
fans
mean?
though made a comment that Ginger does
She
theater.
has a background.
So
Yeah.
she should have a background in sewing and dancing and singing.
But I don't know.
Well, I
It's
can
just-
tell you this: even if you do have that experience, it doesn't. They're not picking people that have that experience.
Right.
They're picking people that don't have that experience because it's better TV.
So you would say, "Oh, I don't have that experience."
I would say it would behoove you to lie and say that you don't know how.
You should basically just say,
I don't know how
I
to
mean,
do
obviously
a
they
lot
do
of
pick some
things.
that do and some that don't, but they're clear. I mean, like you couldn't find 14 drag queens that know how to sew every season.
You can.
You can.
Well, I think every drag
and
queen
simple.
at this point, if you are interested in being on the show, just go
Yeah.
ahead and learn how to sew.
Yeah.
Just
Or at
do
least
it.
to know how to construct something and put it together
Exactly.
with hot glue.
Because-
you get
Speaking
to
of
buy a
which-
body form.
I mean,
practice.
not to jump ahead, but I think almost all of them use something that they already had.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just either glued or we'll get to that
Yeah.
later. Mm-hmm. What do we think of Hello Kitty?
I love Hello Kitty. I feel like I feel very happy that. Okay, Kenny said. Who was it? Kenny who said before, "We know where all the money went."
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Because to get a brand as big as Hello Kitty, you really probably had to pull in.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, just to have the actual, which I have it here, on the show and like, throughout the show, it was actually a part of the whole thing. I think that costs maybe a lot of money. And we talked about budgeting and how Untucked is no longer a part of
the budget.
budget. Because, and also, I mean, I do miss, because RuPaul usually, she narrates, she used to narrate Untucked. Now it's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I do like that because RuPaul's Drag Race tends to have a lot of brands that are targeted at gay people, like specifically
Right.
Hello
LGBT
Kitty?
brands. Hello Kitty is not. Hello Kitty is just a family brand, and I thought that was great because it's like you're showing how much of a bigger appeal your show has. Your show has appeal for
Hello
all
Kitty
kinds of audiences.
and anything from Sanrio was how we pegged out all the young queens when I was growing up, because it's over 30 years old.
Yeah.
It was owned by Sanrio, or as far as they marketed it and
Really?
distributed it.
Really?
So that's how we knew who the queens were. They owned Sanrio pencil cases.
But I'm just saying,
Hello Kitty.
Sanrio
Yeah.
itself does
Yes,
not
it is a
market
family brand,
itself.
correct.
It
Right.
markets itself as a family
Yeah,
brand.
I think it's great that they had Hello Kitty on the thing. And I actually thought this challenge was very inventive. It was something different. I don't ever remember them taking something like this and rebranding it. I thought that was unique. I don't think the execution
it's been done. I went to the Hello Kitty exhibit that's in at the Japanese museum here in Los Angeles. I think the exhibit is still going on through the end of May. I could be wrong, but they it was either America's Next Top Model or Project Runway. They did a similar kind of challenge. And I also want to correct myself saying that when I say family brand, I don't mean that like I'm isolating this to the nuclear like man, woman, child. It's just that Hello Kitty as a brand, like when you go in and see it, Hello Kitty has a family that's like mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. It's a very like heterosexual, stereotypical brand, but now they're branching out, and that's great.
Well, I made a comment earlier to somebody at work about, normal. I think what we consider the norm is the mom, dad, kid.
Nuclear.
Not
that's
not
changing.
the
There is-
dad or mom
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And that's
So,
changing. There
it's
is no
changing.
more norm.
It's changing, and the good thing is you're seeing a lot in commercials and even on TV, on network TV, or just in general. So, which is a good thing.
So let's talk about the theme.
I was gonna say. So, what does this come through? Remember we used to do this
I was gonna
last
just comment
season.
too. Like,
Okay.
it's a little too much.
What does that mean, though?
Come through, Miss Mary. It's like, I'll think of a better way to portray that for you. But I noticed that Violet, she's just sometimes you gotta pick your spots with things.
Right.
You don't have to keep repeating it. It's a bit much. She tries a little too hard.
I think
be one of the big girls.
Kind of like with Let It Go. Once, good. Twice, cute. After about the
Steve
third
was
time,
just shaded. Look at his poor sad face.
Hi, Stephen.
Steven has the saddest
This is Hello
face.
Kitty talking. Say hi, Hello Kitty. Yeah, I think I heard it so many. I mean, I've heard it throughout the season, but this episode I just noticed it even more.
I've only noticed Violet saying. I'm sure somebody else has said it too, but Violet says it a lot.
It was just annoying.
Get another catchphrase, girl.
Well, it's just everyone has their
get your seed, get alive, get your life, whatever.
That's a catchphrase that's gone down in the toilet.
Get your Hello Kitty.
Again, pick your spots.
Okay, so do we think Dobby helped him at all in the walkthrough?
From what
Not
I
what
saw,
we
he
saw.
didn't get to say much.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you can't just say, oh, that's his fault. He's with Rue.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The challenge was to take the Hello Kitty brand, like take this bow and put it on something that you would wear and call it couture or eleganza. I think that is, again, up to interpretation.
Yeah.
And I think, and as much as I enjoy having him as a judge, and I think the reason why I enjoyed him is his banter with Michelle Visage in the past. And we didn't get that this episode. And now
Carson is
it's
so
Carson
boring.
and well, actually it's Michelle and anybody else.
Yeah.
Because she was throwing shade at Rebecca Romaine Stamos the entire episode.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, okay. So it's just anybody. She's
Yeah.
just naturally like that, which I like.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I enjoyed Ross, because Ross came right back. So,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes for good TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michelle was like, oh, well.
You know what's enjoyable about Ross though is that like Michelle, because she has resting bitch face, like when she delivers it, you feel like you're hit hard,
It's
and so
unanimous,
it's hard
yeah.
to come back. And Ross, bless him, he comes back and he talks in his cute little voice, and you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
He's
to
a
do
pro.
the double take.
He's
Yeah.
a pro. What else? We already talked about Ginger and cinching.
Yes, we did.
I mean, the only other thing I have from the workroom was Pearl, which I found
Pearl's
interesting.
drawings.
I
Yeah.
found that interesting.
Yeah.
And I've liked her throughout the season. I don't think that she's not my favorite.
Violet.
Pearl.
Oh, Pearl.
But I actually found that very interesting that she took this person, this imaginary character at 10 that she used to draw, and she became that person.
I thought that was interesting as well.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. No, me personally?
Yeah.
No.
How did you come up with your persona?
I just honestly we were. I actually did it the first time I did it. I was I wasn't Lorraine Love. I had a different name.
I'm going to fast track you into this story.
Just like Disneyland.
disclaimers.
Disneyland. Get to it.
No, I'm from Lorain, Ohio.
How old
so
were you?
I wanted 20. The first time I did it, 20.
Pick a number.
I have to think. 25.
That old? You can't remember?
I think 25. Yeah.
Drink your juice, Shelby.
Yeah. 25. 25. I think 24, 25. Somewhere
Excellent.
there. Yeah. No, I'm just from Lorraine, and I didn't have like an image. I just knew that I wanted to do. They said, "What's your gimmick?" And I said, if I had to pick a gimmick, I just wanted it to be that Lorraine was a lady.
Do you have to have a gimmick?
Other than that,
I think you should.
I think it
Like
helps.
Katya has a
I
gimmick.
think it helps.
Pearl had
I don't think
obviously.
you have to, but I think that's part of the problem with like Violet and Pearl and Fame is like they're still working that out.
Their
You know what I
branding.
mean?
They
Like
need
they're
to find
still
their brand.
But
they need
do
to
you
find
think-
what their
So they're
thing
catching
is.
a fan base first.
Yeah.
They're catching a fan base for the gimmick first.
interesting.
And then brand yourself.
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely. I'm not always ladylike. I still have a bar mouth. You know what I mean? But I did for a long time try to, anytime I spoke on the microphone, never curse. I did try that for a long time.
And that didn't work out. Huh?
I mean, it doesn't even work at AfterBuzz when I'm not supposed to.
Okay, so I'm just runway. Rue's look.
I liked it.
I
I liked it.
I
loved her
felt
hair.
that like the dress was appropriate, but I didn't like it. If that makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
the dress looked like that kind of like cellophane you get at the like Sanrio
Seems
store.
like we're getting that a lot from her. This
I know. That's what I was gonna
I
say.
didn't like the material.
I feel like we've said
did
that
like
before a
the
couple of
color.
times.
I think
Yeah.
the color was a slight reference to the color of cherry blossoms sometimes, like, depending on the lighting. But for me, it was a replica of like a cherry blossom color. Yeah.
I think I
and
just
her hair
I
made
just
sense.
Yeah.
It just you
Felt
could
like-
see like this weird gap in between like pieces of the hair where I'm sorry.
no.
Oh, you
because
could see,
what
you
I'm
could
gonna
see,
say,
like,
people are gonna
a
hate me for
Gap
what I got.
in between pieces of the
Oh, you
hair.
didn't like it? No.
The makeup
I didn't like
it.
the hair. I thought the hair would have been fine if it didn't have that poofy part at the top.
See, I like that.
Like I like the falls. The
She was going for an Asian theme.
I
Yeah.
know, and I got
Asian,
that.
like,
It just
origami, Harajuku.
dude, jet black would have been cute. I think with a different color dress.
Maybe
she
not in
doesn't
the
do.
lighting.
She doesn't do jet.
And maybe
I
not
know.
in the lighting either.
And I didn't like the bow thingy. It looked like something I've seen already from her this season.
Yeah. Well,
One
most of
more
her
room.
It
stuff.
wasn't my favorite. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't. What did you guys think of Michelle's look?
I loved it. It was so appropriate. It was so Michelle does Hello Kitty. It was
Yeah.
just so.
She
so
looked like she
totally
was
appropriate.
Michelle does Hello Kitty from 1984.
Yes, and that's how Michelle does everything, and
Yeah.
that's why she is who she is. You know.
Okay. I just had a flashback to 1984.
What were you, 2?
I was 4. Close enough.
Yeah.
I was 2.
That was my first memory when I was 4 years old. Okay, enough about me.
Michelle Visage.
Yeah. So, the two runways, they had to do Hello Kitty,
Eleganza.
and the surprise was they had to create a brand of
Hello Kitty
BFF.
Am I the only person that was totally bored by most of the BFFs?
You were, because I enjoyed it.
Well, let's talk about what do we think that theme was supposed to mean?
I think using the 5 contestants, I think what Rue wanted was what Violet came up with. Was like something that Hello Kitty could actually be friends with.
and brand it.
And branded. As I think Ginger came close. I actually liked hers better because it was not a cat. It was actually clever.
Yeah.
I liked Ginger's because most of Hello Kitty's friends are all kinds of different animals.
See, I don't even know Hello Kitty's friend.
don't either.
See, she has like Keroppi.
Which is
A duck.
which is why I
dog.
think the
Yeah.
cow made sense.
That's why Ginger's was my favorite because I'm like, okay, it's not, and I understand we have this whole like conundrum where Hello Kitty is a cat, but she's a girl, but she's actually just a girl and not a cat. And so.
Wait, she's a girl? She's not a cat?
It was a whole thing on the internet. But
Okay.
anyway, I don't have time for that.
I was gonna do something and no, I'm not gonna do
But
it.
see, to have them
Let's keep
either
it
be
PG.
cats or just like women, I was like, I just don't get it. But I kind of wanted them all to be different animals or different creatures or something.
I thought they should have been creatures. I think Ginger was on the right path.
I think the two that got it wrong were Pearl and Kennedy. I mean, they actually had like a female theme that weren't like animals.
and they couldn't brand it.
Yeah.
Like,
Katya too.
I was
Katya,
gonna say, they're
hers
gonna
were-
throw her in there too.
Yeah,
Hers was funny,
her
but
was
it couldn't
funny.
be- yeah.
I mean, as far as funny goes, she was by far the funniest. Her and Ginger.
Yeah.
But I think Ginger nailed this one. This
Yeah.
part of the challenge.
yes.
And I think Violet was hers was very clever, but it was a little too safe. But I think that's what Rue wanted was Violet's
Well,
interpretation.
Mark and I had talked about that because
But it's
for
so
me, that's what I
boring.
got about the theme was you're actually attempting to possibly brand another character,
Right.
That maybe they possibly could sell.
Right.
Who knows? Don't know. But that's what I got from it because we were talking about Rue's comment about keeping it tame.
Right. Now, would you think if that were the case and they actually, let's say they chose Ginger's to brand it, would it be Ginger's creation or would it be RuPaul World of Wonder?
I'm sure RuPaul would
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
wheel that deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm sure, like, aside from your own drag persona, everything else you sell the rights to RuPaul's
Now, was it supposed to be drag inspired or just?
Well,
'Cause that was the thing that was confusing
They didn't
to
really
me.
say it specific, and I did stop and rewind and pause, and we had it kind of flipped out on RuPaul's comment about Violet because she said, I kind of appreciate that she was tame because Hello Kitty is an iconic brand. And to me, that didn't make any sense. Because I'm like, what does her being tame have to do? Like, so you want her to create, you ask them to create something that could be a friend of hers. So shouldn't it be on the same level as Hello Kitty?
Right.
It shouldn't be tame.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're telling them, create this character, but making sure Hello Kitty is the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
I
took it
completely
as-
agree with
I
that.
just, her comment to me is going back to what I've been saying. I get it, it's her show, but you're
You say that one more
basically
time.
saying,
They're gonna cancel us on YouTube.
I don't give a shit.
Ooh, you curse.
But it's the second time. I don't. It's like if you're everything she's gonna say to help the people that she wants to advance.
Yeah.
And that it proves my point.
Yeah.
So,
I
whatever.
understand why Mark thinks that way because that's been his theme since the beginning. I just took it as Violet usually comes
It's not
out
my
with,
theme. It's I'm actually pulling example from the show that it's actually happening.
Violet,
So I'm not making
from the
it up.
beginning has had like a dominatrix thing. It's super overtly sexy. That's not really Hello Kitty's thing. So my thing is like she appreciated that it wasn't like a whip and a corset in black, ready to
Like
slut
her
out
runway.
Hello Kitty.
Right.
So keep it tame because that's a possible brand. You don't know where this is gonna go. That's all I took it as. But
I mean, aside from all that, it's like Violet's runway looks are amazing, but for me, Violet as a person,
She sucks.
she wavers between
Sucking.
playing the BITCH character.
Bitch.
Yeah, she.
Oh, sorry.
There goes
Close
our
your ear.
rating. She wavers between being that bitchy character and being boring.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from her looks, I just find her boring.
But she also defended herself in Untucked, where she said that when she first came, that was her strategy. She came in, she had to have a thick skin to do. I kind of agree with her, and I didn't like her in the beginning, and now that as the show progressed, I kind of like her, and I kind of get where she's coming from. But at the same time, again, if you don't give them that,
The proof is in the pudding.
exactly, they can't portray you one way or the other.
Right.
And she's had moments where she kind of was in the background, kept to herself. And she actually kind of reminds me of season 2's winner, who was young, and what is her
Tyra.
name? Tyra, yeah,
Sanchez.
who kept to herself, who was a bitch at times, but it worked to her advantage, and she found herself never in the bottom 2, never having a lip sync for her life, and she ended up winning. So I think that could be Violet's strategy as far as this competition is concerned. I don't know.
highly possible.
Going back to the Hello Kitty BFFs, I feel as though this came up because of the whole drag issue that they had backstage in Untucked about like is more or is less is what do we think about, and this goes right into the runway, like your interpretation of taking this brand and making it your own, and what they actually came up with as far as the final project or final product on the runway.
Are you asking us what you think of their outfits, or are you
Yes.
asking us if we think drag should be campy?
Both.
I think drag should be campy. I don't want to see a
But
boring drag
it seems
queen.
as though that the judges in general, over the last couple of, I would say, seasons, they take it as, let's move less campy and more into like conventional. You know what I mean?
Conventional.
No.
Give us an example.
Like Michelle Visage is always kind of she wants to see more from different people, from certain people.
Right.
Like in my opinion, last night's episode, I think I'm kind of over Violet and this corset idea of just I'll put on a corset, dress it up, and go on a runway, and everyone's like, "Ooh, look at her." I'm just like, I personally didn't think she looked the best. I
don't
did
think so
not
either.
like that headdress.
I agree 100%.
Okay, let's talk about the fact that if we're going to get into the outfits, she had a steering wheel on her head.
Right.
I don't understand how someone who puts on, like, the outfit was beautiful. It was a great outfit. But
Which we've seen before.
Which we've
Which
seen
we've
before.
seen
times.
several times.
We've seen before. It's like, we know you can cinch your waist and look beautiful, but there was nothing particularly Hello Kitty about
And
that
there was nothing
outfit.
particularly 60s about it other than her eyes and her makeup.
Her
Yes.
makeup was good.
I'm sorry,
than that-
just because you put a steering wheel on your forehead, that
Yeah.
does not make you
Her-
avant-garde.
And if anyone else would have done that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Well-
if a campy girl would have done that, they would have been, oh, that's campy. But because she does high fashion stuff and you put, you know what I mean? It's like
It
any
looked like a
any
steering
runway
wheel.
show, you do something on a runway, and it's Dolce & Gabbana.
Well,
you're
this-
like, oh, it's amazing.
this kinda-
But if I did, they're like, Mark's gone crazy.
But this goes back to your comment about how Ruth kind of has her favorites because when they were doing the critiques by themselves amongst the judges, Rue was all praised, like, oh, she can, she's got figures or whatever she said, silhouettes, and I'm just
brings it to
thinking,
the ball.
it's the same thing.
I agree.
To me, Ginger's was the best because it
Her runway.
Her runway
Yeah.
was the best because it incorporated. First off, because the minute I knew that they had to wear Hello Kitty, I was like, I would make Hello Kitty boobs, and then Ginger did that, and I was like, yes, we had the same idea. But I feel like her outfit incorporated the Hello Kitty into the outfit more so than making it just like
And
an
she
accoutrement.
kept it ginger.
Yeah.
Which was part of the challenge.
Except she changed her hair. It was
Well,
more like this.
she was doing the kitty cat.
I know,
Yeah.
which I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I did. I appreciated her changing her hair.
I mean, and I Pearl's outfit to me was the absolute worst because
Yes.
Because as
Hands
much
down.
as I actually like Pearl as like a person, as like a character on the show,
Right.
You wrapped a blanket around yourself.
And I think that
any other character who wrapped
And
a
belted
blanket
it.
around themselves
Yep.
and belted it would have gotten in trouble.
And then, but I think, was it Michelle that even says, nobody else could get away with
Yeah,
that?
'cause she wears-
Well, she didn't get away with it, in my opinion. I thought she looked horrible.
I think the icing on the cake was the headdress. It was kind of like
Yeah.
an afterthought. I was like, I kind of would have been okay with it if she didn't put that thing on her head. Like, if it didn't,
You know when you were a kid and you had those sleeping bags that zipped all the way
Yeah.
up around your head? That's all I could think of. I was
Yeah.
like, you're
Looked
advertising
like she was
a
wearing
sleeping
And I
bag.
feel like if anybody else would have worn that, that's exactly what they would have said. It looks like you're wearing a sleeping bag
That's
and you
true.
belted it.
Yeah.
But for her, and she doesn't even still isn't putting hips in. Or if she is,
she couldn't
they're
even
very
walk
small.
in the dress.
And
She had to
still
run down the
Yeah, I
runway
noticed that
because
too. I noticed that
every
too.
time she moved, she had to run because it was too hard to walk.
I feel like she always walks on a slant. Like I always feel like she kind of veers.
Well, we've talked about her walk. I have to agree. I didn't.
She's growing on me. I'm starting to smile more when I see Pro.
I like her more when she's speaking as
Yeah.
opposed to like
Yeah.
her runway looks. Cam, you're mighty quiet over there. This is your girl.
I'm a pro's ass, so I'm fine with it. I picked I like Fish Queen, so I picked Violet as the winner anyway because I was a Barbarella fan when I was a kid. That was my generation, so I got it. I got the idea. I got the head thing too because in this generation there's this new cartoon game where there's like this heroine girl and she has like a bubble around her head. So for me, it all tied in. I got it. And I was good with
Who
it.
was it that said she looked like Kennedy said she looked like a human gaydar?
I don't know.
But yeah, and we have seen corsets from her. We get that silhouette is repetitive, but so was Katya's. I'm sorry, she was a bodysuit.
Have we
Doesn't
seen
always
that
wear
before?
bodysuits.
Yeah.
She
wore
did.
bodysuit
She
before.
did at the beginning, but I don't think she's worn it a lot.
You know what I
Done it
thought
once
of?
before, it's a repeat.
You know what I thought of? Gia Gunn. It looked like the same one that she wore last season. I give Katya a little credit because it looked as though when I saw it, Japanese language, the writing. I thought that's what I got from the pink in the actual suit.
Okay.
I thought that
I didn't see that, but now
I thought it was. I
Hiragana,
thought
yeah.
yeah.
To me, she looked like a manga action figure.
Yeah.
And that's I did like that. I did like that kind of idea, and I didn't think it was. What's interesting is when you have a show like this, you can't just, as a panelist, you can't just be like, oh well, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice, So people like Michelle Visage have to really, really, even if they have a slight opinion, they have to commit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're watching
get
the
it.
show,
Right.
and so it just bummed me out because I'm like. Really, Kennedy and Katya's outfits weren't that bad.
No, I don't think they were that. And
And
even
we're getting down to the wire.
Even
too, so
Rebecca Romaine, I said Stamos earlier. She's not married to him anymore. Sad for her. She's hot. She even got it.
Yeah.
Because Katya said that in her blurb as she's walking out, and then she said almost the same thing. And so I thought, okay, someone got it. I didn't get it, but someone got it.
Yeah. I love, and you mentioned it earlier, I loved Michelle's face when Rebecca disagreed with her.
Yeah.
She was
But
like,
again,
"Are
we
you
all know that
disagreeing
she
with
could have
me?"
been disagreeing with somebody else.
True.
For all
True.
we know.
Right.
But it fit. The
But
look
I did-
fit.
That could have been the PA saying, Michelle, you can't take a pee break.
Exactly.
Capture it, use it.
Exactly. We know it happens.
I didn't think Kennedy's bows were that offensive either.
I didn't either.
I thought it was
Well,
pretty cute.
again, this was Santino. He made the comment of you took those bows and you did that with them. In his mind, he's thinking what he would do.
Of course.
Which
I like Kennedy. I like the way that she replied, and even in Untucked, she kind of read him in Untucked without him being there, and I have to agree with her.
I didn't like her knee pads or her knee
that was
buffers.
that was a little odd.
And I didn't like
I
the
agree.
back of her costume.
See, I actually liked the back.
I didn't realize it was pink on the back
I
until I saw it
actually
later.
liked the back because I was like, oh, that's at least she didn't repeat the same thing all the way around. Like it was a little surprise in the back. I actually don't even think she needed the thing. I think she was just trying to decorate her boots, which I think is what she was trying to do. But
And
I
that's
didn't
why I
even think she needed
appreciated Pearl's rip because at some point, just throwing shit on your costume becomes desperate.
Yes.
Yeah, but
But I
just
think
wrapping
it- but
a
I
Hello Kitty
think-
blanket around yourself and belting it doesn't make an outfit either.
Headpiece.
Okay, and a kitty on her head.
She had an ornacia on her head.
Right.
And,
Thank you.
Now, if she would have covered her entire face, that would have been sickening.
Yeah.
And then did the reveal, the Ornacia reveal.
Yeah.
And again, I have to say, this is when we're critiquing it. People seem to misunderstand that we're critiquing it we're just critiquing it like judges. We're not trying to be like,
our
I
opinion.
hate you and I want to rip you down and
It's our
blah,
opinion.
blah, blah. And it's interesting because on this Michelle and Rue podcast that I was talking about earlier, they were talking about how the fans have just gotten hateful.
Oh, hateful.
Mean
Oh, they
hateful.
are hateful.
But I mean, to be fair, you have your favorites. Like, I mean,
You can have
Yeah,
your
but you can
favorite
respect
without
other people's
being a
opinions.
jerk.
Right, exactly.
I mean, hello. Have you read the comments down below?
No, I don't.
You don't have to respect it, but literally to have that much venom and you actually take your time to why?
Right.
What is-
Exactly.
You're not affecting that person's life.
Exactly.
You're not that important. You're not that relevant.
No.
Serious.
I mean, like the people who got so mad at Jasmine, and
Yeah.
like just tweeting at her nonstop. It's like there's a difference between expressing your opinion and then being just like a hateful monster.
Yeah. It's just gotten. I mean, I think just that's a comment on
But see,
society.
okay, I was just
today.
gonna say this is a society
because
thing.
now it used to just be us sitting in a room talking about it. Now we can sit in here in AfterBuzz and broadcast it, and now everybody
Yeah,
feels like
everybody-
they should be able to broadcast it back.
Or
And
defend.
give
However,
which is
I will
fine, and
say
they're
that we
absolutely
are
allowed to.
giving them permission to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I
if
don't
we
have to
put it
read
out there-
I don't give a crap what they say.
I think you're being ingenuine right now.
What?
No,
Why?
I'm really flasé job about it.
Flazé
We're
job.
also flazé.
She's making up words. I like Pearl. I really do. I didn't like her outfit. So
I'm okay with it.
Violet wins, which I kind of thought Ginger should have won.
I
thought
thought
so,
Ginger
too.
should have won too.
I mean, I wasn't crazy about her Eleganza dress,
I liked her
I
Hello
loved
Kitty.
but her Hello Kitty
That's funny.
creation was funny.
Yeah.
And
But I don't think her runway. I mean, I think it was the best. I do. I think it fit the challenge the best. Thought it fit her personality the best. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
but I feel like even last season they did the same thing to Benda La Creme.
Yeah.
There were like 3 episodes in a row she should have won,
Yes.
Right.
and she didn't.
Yeah.
And then
and she probably was in the bottom 2 for
right.
one of those.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I remember that.
So
yeah.
yeah.
I feel as though my bottom 2 in this episode, giving the criteria,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly think that the question and answer when they were all on the runway had a little weight to it, because I think Pearl talked her way out of like being in the bottom. I think she should have been in the bottom.
Absolutely.
I think it should have been Pearl
Hands
and Katya, because I didn't think Kennedy's outfit was that bad. Her Hello Kitty was bad, but I don't think.
But see, I thought.
Okay, I'm changing my
Katya-
mind. Hold on.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm
yeah,
changing my mind.
Yeah.
It should have been Pearl and Kennedy in the
Kennedy.
bottom,
Yeah,
not Katya.
yeah.
Only because I'm biased and I like Katya.
No,
and
but
I think and I liked her Hello Kitty.
I think her Hello Kitty was better, and
Yeah.
I think her runway was better than Kennedy's.
I just
I'm not branding a
there's-
Russian hooker. Sorry, guys.
I mean, looking
What,
at
you
this,
don't like
it's like
Russian
I don't
hookers?
I don't understand.
From Serbia? Wait, Serbia's not even. in
That's what she
Russia.
said, though.
I don't understand even with for like Violet, all of the dresses that she's had for her performance on the challenges. I just like, yeah, she's never lip synced, but I still don't see why she is like top material. I don't get it. I
No,
just don't
Violet.
get it.
But
You know
the
why?
Same thing with Kennedy.
Did you
The
get
same
it?
thing with
Did you
Kennedy.
get it when Tyra was? Did you have the same?
No.
I
and
get,
you know,
my perception of the show was different then.
Right.
Because I actually, season 2 was the first season that I
Turned on.
watched.
Oh, okay.
So,
it was my first season too.
yeah,
okay.
so it was like, I had a different perception of it then. You know, when you're like a baby and you're forming your thoughts and
Right,
it's
right.
all just like happening.
And I think you said it maybe a couple of weeks ago that back in season 2, you didn't want anyone to go. And
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Except for last night because Katya went home. Now I don't really have a
I
reason
feel
to
like this
watch.
is the way I felt like when Latrice went home, because you feel so strongly about this person as a character that you're like, I don't get how I can watch this show without having this
Yeah,
character on the
right.
show.
But also have to admit, and I think this goes for a lot of shows that are competition shows, when you get down to the nitty gritty, you know someone has to go.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
even last season, I was just like, wait, who was last season? Adore? Maybe not a good example. Latrice season. It was Chad Michaels. I thought all 4 of them could have easily been in the top.
yeah.
And even with Monsoon season, of course I wanted Roxy to go home way longer than she shouldn't have been top. But I'm just saying, it's like we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and this is the first season, and I may have contradicted myself, where I don't really.
Well, there's a
care.
difference.
I'm not
difference.
invested.
There's a difference between enjoying a character and wanting them around because they make for good television and watching, as opposed to a winning drag queen. I mean,
Absolutely.
I didn't expect Latrice to win at all. I did not expect her to win. I didn't think she was, an amazing drag queen to me, but she was a great character.
Yes.
To watch on TV.
Right.
I enjoyed her.
And I'm looking at this Final Four, and I'm just like,
but if she had won, I would have been like, what?
right. Well, like now, like I'm trying to figure out who would win this out of the four. I'm
Ginger.
just like,
This is set up for
I feel,
Ginger.
like I feel like it's leaning that way
Yeah.
too.
It's
well, I
definitely
think it's going to
Ginger.
come down to Ginger and Violet. I think. Are we getting predictions already? No, I think that let's talk. Let's do real quick the dance for your life, which I thought it was because I mean it was really good in my
Wasn't
opinion.
Cam waiting for a death drop?
It came. I kind of felt like I can't remember which another lip sync for your life that was actually better than this. This was
Whip Your Hair Back and Forth was good.
Who was that?
That was Roxy and Alyssa Edwards.
The wig underneath the wig.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was probably one of the better ones.
Thank you for waking me up. Then this would be my second place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because I think Katya was already went in defeated, and I guess everyone knows that Kennedy can lip sync. I actually think that Kennedy came out of the gate too strong for me.
Yeah.
She was
and like
in
she,
hard.
yeah.
And I'm not a big fan. I mean, the death drop is one thing, but sometimes it's, again, you got to pick your time.
I think
with
it's a
that.
jump split.
But the fact that she jumped off the stage,
And
not that
land.
that gives her like amazing talent points, but like to
Creative.
take that. Well, it's also a risk because you
Yeah.
can hurt yourself.
Yeah, it was
Tear your, you
creative.
can tear your
this-
tendons, but
this-
hey, rock on with that.
And being tucked like that.
Well, and I was gonna say when they started, and we both laughed because they shot to Kennedy and she was like squatting down,
Yeah.
and stretching.
No, even in
Like, she's
Untucked.
getting ready. She's getting ready.
Even in Untucked, she was like stretched. It's just like
Yeah.
you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
You knew it was
Yeah.
coming. Song choice wasn't my favorite because I didn't think it was. I like upbeat songs. This is medium beat for me, but it Hello Kitty, Cat, Roar. I get it.
Well, I like when it's
It
a
was
little
too
bit slower
slow.
because you can actually see their lip syncing
Yeah.
ability. If
That's
it's too
true.
fast, they can get away with murder.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway.
Quick shout outs. Woo Woo 30 loves our show. Salsa 872 is from Alaska and really
Yay.
enjoys us. Manuel commented again, loves our show. Or Manuel. I keep doing this. I'm sorry. I think it's Manuel. Yes. Lee Bruins said we're one of their 2 favorite after shows. What's the
two?
other
I know.
one?
What's the other?
That was it. Those are my shout outs.
Hopefully, Jay's wrong.
I have a question. If you've made it this far, I would like for our viewers to. There's a show that comes on after RuPaul's Drag Race, at least in LA. It's called Cucumber and Banana, and I watch it, and I think it's amazing. It's a British show. If you enjoy that show, I would like to know if you watch it and enjoy it, because maybe next season we might cover it.
Who do we predict is going home next week?
I think they're gonna do what they did last season, make
4.
the top 4 video and then get rid of one right before the final. I think it's gonna be Violet. Not Violet, sorry, Pearl. I think Pearl's gonna go home next week.
I think Pearl as well.
I think I've been saying it since the episode. Pearl.
Kennedy! I'm going to go with Kennedy.
And that's our show. Thank you, Hello Kitty, for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Kitty.
Tweet us out. What's your Twitter? Where can they find
What's
you?
your tweeter?
I'm at 123Jackie_B on Twitter, at 123JackieB, all one word on Instagram, and I'm on a new YouTube show that's coming out soon called Words, Wine, and Women. You should check out the
That sounds
website.
fun.
I'm gonna have to add that to my programming. At Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook / the Mark J Freeman.
Cameron.
At Tomakova777.
And you can find me at Kenny C. Harrison at Kenny C. Harrison on Twitter. Fuck off. Not you, viewers. Make your comment.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Drag you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.